So the whole idea of what we're doing is we have a room that's well insulated but with no heat source, and what we wanted was a ramp that leads up and goes into the room and a heat source, so we decided to do a rocket mass heater. Following the directions in Erica and Ernie Wisner's book, we built the entire rocket mass stove slightly dug into the ground. The rest of this is entirely on the ground, and this is going to end up being an enclosed porch. It's in the book, and it's just the way the book describes it. But our modification was making it so that it would come out here and we could use this as a ramp when it's all finished. We ended up with 21 feet of heat duct, figuring with the 8-inch ductwork, 40 feet, and we reduced it 5 feet for each one of the turns, and we have a lot of turns in ours. And we wanted to start it as low as we possibly could because we wanted to have room to get underneath the porch and the ramp that leads into the room, and we wanted that to be an exact match, and it is. All of the ductwork rises. It's actually a little bit more than the 1/4 of an inch over 10 feet because I wanted to make sure it had good draw. The first clean out is here, right where the first duct comes out of the manifold. Then this turn is right behind the cement block and turns back and goes down to that way. That makes this the next lowest point, so there's going to be a turnout here, clean out here. It turns and goes back, goes to that point. There'll be another clean out there which will be accessible from outside the porch. Then it goes up and goes behind the stove, and it'll go through the ceiling over there. At the end of this one is what looks like a clean out, but actually it's just a port for cold starts. So if we need to start this when the whole system is cold, we can put a bit of fire in here and it'll go directly up the chimney and start the draw from that side. I don't think we'll need to use that very often. Because of this, on the heat riser itself, there's the insulation, 1 inch thick, ceramic furnace insulation, 1 inch thick, which has hardware wire over it. And then before I cob around this, I'm going to put insulation on this as well too. And the cob will come all the way out in here. It'll all fill this entire area. This will be stone going up the back all the way to the top. Once I've done the cobbing underneath this back pipe, then I'll slide in some more of the cement board behind that. And behind the cement board will be perlite, stabilized perlite. This will be a window. This will all be stone in here. And the bench itself will come from here all the way back to the wall in this area. And this will all be filled in with cob and stone. Where this one differs the most from most people's is the fact that it has a ramp instead of a bench on this side. These are just on because we actually go in and out of this room. And so these are either permanently or temporarily on here depending on how much heat we have coming through these, which of course we won't know until we fire it. And what I might end up doing is just replacing all of the wood from this point on, or maybe the whole thing, with stone and cob, so that the whole ramp is cob and stone. Then there'll be no issues with heat at all, but depending on how rapidly the heat dissipates out of this first channel, I may be able just to put some of the insulation there to protect the wood, and we'll see. I won't know until we fire it again the second time. We fired it once already, and the part about the heat coming up into the barrel and coming back down and getting in works terrific and great. But now I need to get the rest of the stovepipe on before I can fire it again. Cost-wise, we've sourced everything except the fire brick itself from recycled materials. The fire brick, building it with a fire brick riser was $120 for 46 fire brick. Put it together with clay slip rather than refinery cement. The rest of it, bits and pieces, were like $6 or $4, and I just collected whatever I could find there at the used recycling place and figured out how to make it work, because it saved us at least 2/3 of the cost of buying new. The biggest part was actually being able to find this insulated piece, which these things cost over $100 to go through the roof with. $15 for that one. We're in Oregon in the rainy season, and so in order to even work out here, we had to put enough of a structure up to put a tarp over the top so that we could have it dry enough to work on. But I needed to do it this time of year because this is the only time of year we can actually dig in our clay soil. So we have plenty of clay for the cob. It's the first time I've ever worked with cob, and it's so easy, it's unbelievable.